Chernobyl's impact on the Soviet Union's collapse. Most people think of Chernobyl purely as an environmental or humanitarian disaster, but historians increasingly argue that the explosion of reactor number 4 was also one of the most significant political events of the 20th century, a key factor that directly accelerated the collapse of the Soviet Union itself. Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev stated publicly in his memoirs that Chernobyl was perhaps the single greatest factor that forced him to pursue his policies of glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring. The disaster exposed the deep rot at the heart of the Soviet system, the culture of secrecy, the falsification of safety records, the prioritizing of ideology over scientific truth, and the willingness of the state to sacrifice ordinary citizens to protect its image. When Sweden detected radiation on the clothing of its own nuclear plant workers, traced back to the Soviet Union, and demanded answers, Moscow could no longer hide what had happened. The entire world was watching, and the Soviet government was forced into an uncharacteristic moment of transparency. For the peoples of Ukraine, Belarus, and the Baltic states, Chernobyl became a powerful symbol of Soviet incompetence and betrayal, galvanizing independence movements that were already simmering. The evacuation of an entire city, the exposure of hundreds of thousands of liquidators, and the contamination of vast agricultural lands created a wave of public fury and distrust toward Moscow that proved impossible to suppress. Many historians now place Chernobyl alongside falling oil prices and the war in Afghanistan as one of the three critical blows that brought the Soviet Empire to its knees.